This is FM 88.1 KTYL. How's it? It's Tommy Tile bringing you the San Onofre Bamboo Sound System on 88.1 FM KTYL. This special broadcast goes with a shout out to Mr. Jim Dunfrund, Dunfrund, the founder and the voice of Surfwave on 88.9 FM KXLU. Back in the 80s and 90s, he'd run our surf show Thursday nights from 11 o'clock until midnight, and I had the opportune pleasure on a number of occasions to be able to listen to his show. First of it's broadcast out of Los Angeles proper, and as I was leaving LA, driving over into the valley, I'd lose signal, so I'd stop at the payphone by the I can't remember which fire department, by the fire station up on Mulholland. I'm not sure which station it was, but then just a little bit east of Coldwater Canyon, I'd sit there and listen to the rest of the show. And unfortunately, I couldn't record because it was a car stereo. Other times, I'd be over the hill in the valley and across the valley and up on the higher hill in the back, in the North Valley, around about Granada Hills. In my folks' home, I was able to pick up the signal up there. Just barely coming through. Sometimes it wasn't good, that good. Sometimes it was really good. So maybe the atmosphere helped. The weather might have helped. But there I was able to record. So I recorded maybe, I don't know, 10 shows or something. Or it seems to me I had at least 5 cassettes of the show, 5 or 6 cassettes of the show. And I'd tape the show and listen to it the next day and listen to it the day after that, and play it over and over and over again. And just good fun. Great show, worth listening to 50 times. I don't know. And then also later on, toward the mid 90s, I was moved into a house in Oceanside, and I was coming home one night. For some reason, I was coming home at 11 o'clock on a Thursday night, and I was able to pick up Surfwave because of the bend of the coast. So straight from Los Angeles right down to Oceanside, I could pick it up on my car stereo. Have to listen to it in the garage. Couldn't get on the home stereo and couldn't record it, so I just make a little plate of nachos and grab a beer, a couple of smokes or something like that, and go out in the garage, listen to the show. So that's in tribute to that. These opportune to me just the universe was right. All things in the universe were right. That caused the signal to get to wherever I was, and I was able to tune in and just dig Jim and his show and the whole vibe of the thing. So this show goes out as a shout out to Jim Dunfrund in honor of him, and thanking him for his radio service, bringing Surfwave to myself and to the greater Los Angeles area and beyond. This afternoon's broadcast is brought to you by KTYL 88.1 FM out of, currently broadcasting our virtual broadcasting out of a 1971 VW bus parked right down here in front of Dog Patch, San Onofre. And if you want to come by and drop a request or just drop in some information or say hi, or you're looking for we got the kayak up on top, so it's a yellow and white VW bus, but with the kayak up on top, it's yellow and then white and then yellow again, and that big pink guy in the windows there, that would be me. And come on by and maybe bring by a piece of spare piece of pizza or some sushi or something along those lines.
When the sun goes down and the moon comes up, I turn into a teenage goo-goo muck. Yeah, I cruise through the city and I roam the streets, looking for something that is nice to eat. You better duck when I show up. The goo-goo muck. I'm the ninth head hunter looking for some head with a way out body underneath that head. Yeah, I'll get you, baby, with a little luck, 'cause I'm a teenage tiger and a goo-goo muck.
KTYL1 by Danny Stewart and the Islanders. It's pretty much a definitive song for me. Jim played it on his show one summer solstice, I think 1984, and it was nestled in with some other tunes. But for the longest time, I was trying to find this particular song and this particular version. So I ended up buying a bunch of CDs. I ended up buying a bunch of CDs anyway, a bunch of surf music, trying to track these things down. But for an example, I was looking for one. I found one that said Danny Stewart and his Islanders, and in the middle of the album it says KTYL1, and I was like, oh, that's got to be it. And bought it, tore open the shrink wrap, put it in the car, went down to that particular cut, and it was a different version or something completely different entirely. Anyway, eventually I found it on the internet through YouTube, and was able to. It's like a major puzzle piece is missing. Just really glad to find it. Before that, we had the Bobby Fuller 4 with the Lonely Dragster, and kind of a mix there of Bikini Beach, Annette and Frankie movie. They had Bikini Beach and surf in the morning, and then they would drag race in the afternoon. So a little mix there, Bobby Fuller 4, The Lonely Dragster. Before that, we had Spanish Kiss, Latinia mashup by a guy named Baron Mobius off the internet. And that's pretty unreal because he's just got his own guitar. Everything else is looped. The drums are looped, a looped recording. The bass, the rhythm guitar, they're all looped behind him, so he just gets to go off on the guitar and not have to worry about covering any other bases. Kind of like a designated hitter or something. Anyway, and before that we had the Teenage Googamuck, or actually straight up Googamuck by the Cramps, introduced to me by Mr. Michael Feed sometime in the 1983, somewhere up in the Hollywood Hills. This is wonderfully creepy surf music, rockabilly, psychedelic, whatever they're calling it these days. I just think it's good. And starting us out for the top of the hour, top of the show, Nelson Riddle and his orchestra with the theme to Route 66. Again, in honor of Jim Dunfrund's show. He used to open his shows with that song. I'm taking liberty to open my show with the same song in honor. Coming up next, a little Yang Boo action. If you can spell it and if you can say it, then you probably know what it refers to.
a cold finger beckons you to enter his web of sin. But don't go in. Golden words he will pour in your ear, but his lies can't disguise what you fear. For a golden girl knows when he's kissed her, it's the kiss of death from Mr. Goldfinger. Pretty girl, beware of this heart of gold. This heart is cold. Golden words he will pour in your ear, but his lies can't disguise what you fear. For a golden girl knows when he's kissed her, it's the kiss of death from Mr. Goldfinger. Pretty girl, beware of this heart of gold. This heart is cold. He loves only gold. Only gold. He loves gold. He loves only gold. Only gold.
and The Shadows with their Slaughter on 10th Avenue. Before that, James Bond theme by Davy Allen and the Arrows. And prior to that even was Goldfinger theme from Miss Shirley Bassey herself. You might not think of it as surf music, but when the sun hits the water just right and the sets are starting to pump in and the wind just turns around offshore, occasionally you get that big Hollywood sound in your head. You go, Goldfinger, I'm going to rip this wave. That kind of thing. You've got the San Onofre Bamboo Sound System with Tommy Tile on 88.1 FM KTYL. So it's probably time for a little bit of San Onofre Social Security. Where you could bring in a little bit of news or gossip or, hey, was the swell coming or swell going back down or what? Let's see. What I got on my radar is the Brillo family down in front of Old Man's in a green and blue VW Westphalia, the pop-top camper, you understand? They've got way too many hot dogs, they say, but they're running low on ice. So if you want to work a deal, take some ice down there and get yourself a couple of sweet little hot dogs, sand dogs. And let's see, and Robbo came by. I thought Robbo was missing a sandal. I thought he lost a sandal, but he's like, no, man, I found one. So if you're missing a sandal, missing a slipper, find Robbo. He's probably got it. It's probably size 11. I don't recall what it looked like, but anyway. So check him out. He's got some SPF 50 going that he'll trade out for a cigar. I mean, he's got a spare cigar out there. He'll trade from SPF 50 because he doesn't want to get skin cancer, you know. And let's see. Oh, and Auntie came by and gave me some of her wicked pineapple banana rum cake bread. I tore a big hunk off of that and had that, and then wrapped the rest of it up with tin foil, put it back on the exhaust manifold in the bus here, so it would heat up and warm up, soften up a little bit more. Really good stuff. If she's out there, she'll probably sell you a loaf for like $1 or a smile or something, you know. Let's see what else is going on. Well, let's check tide and temperature. The tide's going out to a minus 0.2 at 4:15 this afternoon. You'll probably be able to, when you're done surfing for the day, go out there during the low tide and look for the sunglasses that you lost when you're paddling out. And let's see, the air temperature right now is 75. Water temperature is 68. A little chilly if the wind is blowing, but no, it's pretty darn good if you consider other places in the country. And the radiation from the nuclear power plant is down low. It's not too bad. The way I always check it is I stand facing the nuclear power plant and put out my hand flat, palm toward the nuclear power plant. And if you can see your bones through your hand glowing, you're screwed. Other than that, you're probably okay. Anyway, rolling along here, we got Annette Funicello, the girl with the pointy breasts, as Jim and others used to refer to her, with the Battle of San Onofre.
The day was fine and the woody shine was dazzling to the soul. So we loaded her up with the gear so tough. San Onofre was our goal. When we got to the sand, we found a band of skin divers squatting there. They were on our coast that we loved the most, with their suits and their spears in their air. 'Twas a rumble fight to the girls' delight, and bloody was many a nose. When out from the kelp came a cry for help, a skinny was caught with his hose.
The Battle of San Onofre with surfers against the sea. The Battle of San Onofre made surfing history.
So we dropped our jabs and grabbed our slabs and surfed out into the sea. A sunken rock had him like a lock. He'd drown before he'd be free. Some steadied them well on the ocean swell, and some dove down to his aid and wrenched him free from the cruel sea, and on a surfboard he was laid.
The Battle of San Onofre.
face a mask, they rushed the task of breathing him back to life. His eyes opened slow, he began to know he'd returned from death to life.
The Battle of San Onofre with surfers against the sea. The Battle of San Onofre with surfing history.
Surfers are men and divers are men whose enemy may be the sea. So every week both sides now seek the ocean off San Onofre.
The Lonely Surfer by Jack Nietzsche. And it's pretty much like the grand opera of surf music, I think, combining all the elements and just gives me at least a real clear visual through the sounds. It's the wet sound, and it reminds me of along Point Loma there. There's a couple was a lot of surf spots out there, great ones, but it's hard to get in sometimes. A little hostile people. Not that, and the only people who go there are the ones that are really good ones. They're good people, not like they don't have any hot rats going down there and going, hey, right away, rip off, Anyway, but this one little place, Pescadero Street, along the way there, just branches off the road. Usually you have to. We used to have boogie through somebody's side yard down 2 or 3 houses, tenants, to get to the water. But then we found there was an asphalt ramp, just like a dead end street, just south of or just north of there. So you'd walk in, and it was just beautiful, kelp, rocky, protected by the wind, by the cliffs. The wind wouldn't get that bad out there, and that wet sound of the Lonely Surfer just brings you back to that place. Probably only surfed it maybe 8-9 times, something like that, but it just seems so special. And before that, we had another lonely one, The Lonely Road. This one from the lifted from the soundtrack to The Endless Summer by the Sandals. And The Lonely Road was when they played that over when they were Mike and Robert and the filmer. They were all stuck on a lonesome, dusty road, hot, dusty road out in Africa somewhere, and some car drove by with a surfboard on top, which is pretty rare, they were saying. So Lonely Road there, and before that, Santo Johnny, real tearjerker there, bittersweet Sleepwalk. It always reminds me of the ending of the Richie Valens story. But that's surf music nonetheless. And starting us off was Annette Funicello, The Girl with the Pointy Breasts, as I've heard. And the Battle of San Onofre between the surfers and the skin divers. I can't see any battles like that happening, especially at San Onofre. Just everybody has their own faults, they have their own affections and they have their own faults. And I figure if anybody's down there doing scuba diving, they're quite likely to get caught up in the intake on the nuclear reactor and sucked up into the blender. Can you imagine what kind of cocktail that would be?
Everybody loves the hooky-low, where the low is the cow at the big luau. Oh, we'll throw our nets out into the sea, and all the umma come swimming to me. Oh, we're going to the hooky-low, hooky-low. What a wonderful day for fishing, the old Hawaiian way. All the hooky-low nets are swishing down in old Laie Bay. Oh, we're going to the hooky-low, hooky-low. Everybody loves the hooky-low, where the low is the cow at the big luau. Oh, we'll throw our nets out into the sea, and all the umma come swimming to me. Oh, we're going to the hooky-low, hooky-low. Oh, we're going to the hooky-low, hooky-low. Everybody loves the hooky-low, where the low is the cow at the big luau. Oh, we'll throw our nets out into the sea, and all the umma come swimming to me. Oh, we're going to the hooky-low, hooky-low, hooky-low.
I'm slipping in some dub reggae on you. It's instrumental. It sounds like surf music to me anyway. It's a big dub sound. And that one was let's see, that one was Anitu by the Terrorists off the Essential Dub CD. And before that was Barone. I'll spell that Barone, maybe Barona, but that was from the soundtrack to the Whale Rider. It wasn't on the soundtrack or the published soundtrack, nor the score. But digging around through the internet discussion groups, I was able to find it. what it was and who it was by. And I'm sorry, I don't recall who it was by, but I know what it was, Marone. And before that, we had the Victor by the master, Mr. Dick Dale, who passed away earlier this year. We'll do a special show for him, belatedly. But it sounds quite a bit like the Miserlou, doesn't it? The same signature sound. And before that, we had the Hukilau song. I didn't find the version I was looking for. This was the one I'm thinking of was for Alfred Apaka. This one I think was maybe Danny Stewart again, or Arthur Lyman or somebody. Anyway, I'll get that sorted out at some point if it's important to you. Anyway, stand by for some more. We got a little more dub, some more surf music for you coming right up.
Some people think little girls should be seen and not heard, but I think, oh, bondage! Up yours! 1, 2, 3, 4!
Oh!
future stings my eyes. I still find time to exercise in a uniform with 2 white stripes. Unlike my section of the sand, it's fenced off to the water's edge. I clamp a gas mask on my head on my beach at night, bathing in a moonlight. Another tanker's hit the rocks, abandoned to spill out its guts. The sand is laced with sticky glass. A shimmering moonlight sheen upon the waves and water clogged with oil. White gas and steam up from the soil on my beach at night, bathing in my moonlight. Fish between my toes, try not to step on any bones. I turn around, then I go home. I slip back through my basement door, switch off all that I own below, dive in my scalding wooden tub, my own beach at night, bathing in my moonlight. There will always be a moon over my head.
Alright, the Dead Kennedys with Moon Over Rin. Virtual Surf Ghost Story. Actually, it's a little too close to the truth than is comfortable. Before that, X-Ray Spec, Old Bondage Up Yours. Good old punk rock song, but it's just anything with a saxophone, an instrumental with a saxophone in it, and then some vocals. Hey, that's surf music, I think. And before that, Six Pack, also lifted from the 1963 soundtrack to The Endless Summer by the Sandals. And before that, we had Bassy Dub off that Essential Dub CD. And coming up next, we're coming up on the end of the show, actually. I might be running out of battery, so if you don't mind, come on down. Again, that yellow, white, and yellow VW bus with a pink guy in the windows. If you don't mind helping me bump start a VW bus and then bring down a teenage girl, we'll have her do the work the pedals, and we'll push the bus together, fire it back up so I can get home. But this home is where your heart is, and this is 88.1 FM KTYL. Pardon. KTYL. I must have a cough button for that, but that's only for the professionals. Let's see. So 88.1 FM KTYL. And you've had the San Onofre Bamboo sound system, and I've been Tommy Tile. This is 88.1 KTYL.